Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the 2025 NFL season. In this corner, we have the six-time Super Bowl champion and current AFC champion, New England Patriots. And representing the NFC in the blue corner, we have the one-time champion, Seattle Seahawks. This is the Super Bowl, where there will be no ties and possibly overtime. We will go until we have a champion. Welcome to Super Bowl 60. Hello, and welcome to What's the Tea? I'm your host, always at Owen the Man 316, and welcome to What's the Tea presents my Super Bowl brew and preview. Now let's get right down to business. This is going to be a great matchup here between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. Like, I get it, people are over rematches. Like, why in the world did the NFL scriptwriter put Patriots Seahawks for Super Bowl 60? Well, I can tell you why. Because there's a lot of good storylines in this game, and we will get into that. But anyways, how you guys doing? You guys doing okay with the cold weather right now? It just snowed again today. And it really wasn't all that bad in terms of the temperature. It was like 35 degrees for the high today, which, hey, heat wave, let's keep it up. Things are finally starting to come up Millhouse, Northern Kentucky. But yeah, let's get right into it. Hope you guys enjoy this one. So let's start things off by taking a look at the New England Patriots. How did they get here? Well, first they played the LA Chargers, and quite frankly, by the end of that game, I could name several things I'd rather watch than the Chargers play offense. Good Lord, it was just terrible. You got Keenan Allen out there still playing football. You got Quentin Johnson, who's really not a bad player, but neither of these guys can catch anything, not even a cold. I mean, it was just that bad to watch as a fan. And I feel bad for Justin Herbert because it's like, this guy has taken a beating for this team. Because Joe Alt, he's out for the season. You got another offensive lineman out too. And this team just cannot do anything against the Patriots defense. And getting into the Patriots, I really wasn't that impressed after that first game because it's like, the Chargers did basically nothing. Let's be honest, they kicked one field goal. It was like 6-3 at halftime in favor of the Patriots. And the Patriots didn't really get anything going until Drake May goes on that long run that sets up another field goal to make it 6-3 at halftime. So it's like, I looked at the Patriots and was kind of skeptical because it's like, yeah, this team, they are good in a lot of ways, but this is where you kind of see the bad to where they're playing a close game like this, but their defense absolutely carried this game. And they'd go on to win this game, and then they would play the Houston Texans, who beat old man winner himself, Aaron Rodgers, in Pittsburgh. And it was not even close in that game. Absolute blowout. Like, I felt bad for Aaron Rodgers after that game, because it's like he did everything to get the Steelers in the playoffs. And then they just get absolutely destroyed by the Texans. Just crazy to see that. Because CJ Stroud, he was still turning the ball over too in that game, but the Texans win, they advance to play the Patriots. Now we have the Patriots against the Texans. And early on, this game was pretty close. Houston and New England were neck and neck. The Texans took the lead at one point too in this game, I think. Because I remember CJ Stroud did throw a touchdown pass that put the Texans ahead, I think, in the second quarter. And then things just all went downhill. As CJ Stroud is he's not a bad quarterback at all. It's just the Texans, they go into this game really banged up too. Like, Joe Mixon, he's not playing. Woody Marks is the starting running back for this team. And Houston is just all the way banged up, basically. But they find a way to keep this game close. So I got to give credit where credit is due there. And their defense really did not play bad against the Patriots. They were the thing keeping Houston in the game. It was CJ Stroud that throws a pick six, and then the Patriots retake the lead, and then fumbles, throws another pick, and another pick. Like, come on, man. Your team is giving you everything you got, and you're just turning the ball over. And the weather certainly didn't help matters. But in the end, you got to be prepared for these things. It's the NFL postseason. Anything goes here. And the Patriots, again, they did kind of look a little lackadaisical in this game at times. But eventually they got it going, and Drake May, he showed why he's up there for the NFL MVP. And this defense did a great job of shutting down the Texans and just keeping them to minimal points in this game. Like, I think they scored like 16 points in this game, and it might have been a touchdown, a couple field goals, or something like that. Like, hats off to the Patriots. That's impressive. So who would they meet in the AFC Championship after a game that was absolute cinema between the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos? And the Bills choking yet again in the postseason. The Broncos advancing to the AFC Championship. But wait, it's not going to be a matchup of two quarterbacks that were drafted in the 2024 draft. As we would find out, Bo Nix unfortunately broke his ankle and would be out for the season. So it would have to be Jarrett Stidham to step up to take on the Patriots. And yes, I'm willing to admit, I picked the Denver Broncos. Because you got to remember something. Who is the one team Bill Belichick and Tom Brady could not beat? The Denver Broncos. They never beat the Broncos. Not once in the postseason, not once in the regular season. So, for those keeping track at home, Josh McDaniels has multiple wins against Bill Belichick because he was the head coach of the Denver Broncos in the late 2000s to 2010, I think. He actually has a win against Bill Belichick. Isn't that just crazy? But anyways, now we have the Patriots and Broncos. And it's funny, these two met in Peyton's final year in the AFC Championship, and it was Brady Manning for the very last time, and that game did live up to the hype. Even though Peyton just didn't have his stuff anymore, and Tom Brady, you could see that, well, yes, he's doing all these crazy things, he was starting to slow down too. And they were kind of carried by their teams, their defenses, and their running games. And the Patriots, they have a good running game now, too, with Ramondre Stevenson, Trevion Henderson. Those two have had really good years. And it may not look like that in terms of stats, but look at what they've done for the Patriots in terms of finishing games and just being bell cows against defenses that just struggle against the run. And that was kind of not really on display in this AFC Championship game because it seemed like neither team could really establish a run game unless it was their quarterbacks. Like the Patriots, they utilized the mobility of Drake May to win this game, and it was fully on display. And that was a great strategy, especially when the weather in the second half turned from, it's clear, there's no snow, there's no rain, it's just a bunch of clouds. But then the second half, it just started snowing like crazy. And it was even hard to watch from a visual standpoint. Like when I was watching the game, there were times that it was a little hard to see either of the jerseys, especially the Patriots jerseys. And this was a great thing for the Patriots defense because it's like they're camouflaged. The Broncos can't see them. They basically kind of have an unfair advantage there, and they utilized it in very good ways in this game, and it was on full display there. Pretty genius strategy there by the Patriots defense, using the elements to their advantage, which is kind of what they've always done, let's be honest. Because that's kind of the Patriot way in a lot of ways. And they find a way to get it done and win this game. But I gotta give credit to Jarrett Stidham. He did throw a touchdown pass, and he led the Broncos on some good drives. They just couldn't finish, especially when the weather got bad. Their kicking game struggled mightily. Like Will Lutz, he's been kicking for the Saints for most of his career, so he's used to playing in a dome. And I bet he has had some times where he's played in bad weather games. But it's like he spent the majority of his career in the NFC South. You know what's in the NFC South? New Orleans, Tampa Bay, let's see, the Falcons and the Panthers. The Saints and Falcons both play indoors. The Bucks usually don't have bad weather unless it's like hurricane season or a really bad rainstorm or something like that. And the Panthers, well, they're like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get because sometimes the weather is going to be great like it was for the game against the Rams. It was 70 degrees at kickoff for that game. And I was just absolutely dumbfounded. What? This is just crazy. How is it 70 degrees in Carolina in freaking January? That's just crazy. But yeah, the Patriots find a way to advance onto the Super Bowl. As much as I have a hatred of this team, I am a Colts fan. I hate this team with every fiber of my being for the things they did to the great Colts teams. But I gotta give credit where credit is due. Mike Vrabel and his defensive coordinator, they stepped it up. They had everything prepared for the Broncos, and they just threw it right at them. So credit where credit is due. Congrats to the Patriots on winning the AFC. And that brings us to the Seattle Seahawks, who played in arguably the best division in all football this year, the NFC West. Because let's think about this for a minute. The Seahawks got the number 1 seed. The 49ers snuck in the playoffs despite all the injuries they had during the season. Like, people were calling them the ICU Niners, because it seemed like every single week they had an injury come up. And Brock Purdy being out for part of the season, at least in the beginning. And Mac Jones having to step up and lead the 49ers offense. Which, hey, I'll give him his props. He did a great job leading that team when they needed a leader there with Brock Purdy out. And then you look at the Rams, most explosive offense in the NFL. I'm sorry, probably second most explosive. Because first I would say is Seattle. But yeah, the Rams, they just keep running it back every year as long as they got Matt Stafford, as long as they got Puka Nacua, and they got Devontae Adams in the offseason. Like, as long as they got a good offense, you can't count out the Rams. And that's kind of the MO of the Rams, is just having an offense that can score points and finish games. And now let's start on the Seahawks playoff journey. First, they played the 49ers. And this game was over before it even started. Like, we flipped the channel over to the Niners-Seahawks game after Broncos and Bills play an absolute classic that goes to overtime. And Rasheen Shaheed takes the opening kickoff all the way for a touchdown, and the Seahawks take a 7-0 lead right out of the gate. And the 49ers, they just struggle right from the get-go. Like, those first 2 possessions for the Niners, they were not great. But then they do get it going, but then it's kind of too little too late, because Seattle is just rolling. Sam Darnold, he's hitting JSN. He's hitting Cooper Kupp. Kenneth Walker, he's running wild with the injury to Zach Charbonnet. Like, that's just how Seattle, they do things around here. Nick Eamon-Worry, he's doing his thing on defense. Tariq Woolen, he's doing his thing on defense. Seattle's defense just completely shuts down Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. And it's no wonder they advanced to the NFC Championship, as they beat the Niners for not only one time, not only 2 times, but 3 times. They beat the Niners 3 times in one season. And this sets up the thrilling conclusion to probably one of the best stories in the season. The Rams and Seahawks. Like, if I was giving out wrestling awards, this is Feud of the Year. Because the Rams and Seahawks have played classic games this year. Starting, of course, with that Thursday night thriller where the Rams were up and the Seahawks find a way to come back with one of the strangest 2-point conversions I've ever seen. Because I think it was somebody fumbled at the goal line, and the Seahawks, I think it was Cooper Kupp who picks it up in the end zone, and the refs have to go and review this to make sure it's a good 2-point conversion, but they initially called this a good 2-point conversion. And I'm sitting there watching this game like, what in the world is going on here? Like, if there was one game that could sum up the craziness of the NFL season this year, it is this game. Because this game was absolute insanity. And in the end, the Seahawks and Rams, this game goes to overtime, and Seattle finds a way to get it done in probably the game of the year. Like, what a game that was. Absolutely incredible. And absolute cinema. And this NFC Championship certainly lived up to the billing. Because Seattle, they got out in front early. The Rams come back, they take the lead for a minute. Then the Seahawks regain the lead, and they just lay the lumber to the Rams. They tire them out, and they just do what they do. They lean on Kenneth Walker. They lean on Sam Darnold to hit the wide open deep shots. Like, that's exactly what they needed to do to finish off the Rams. And they just do a great job of finishing off the Rams in this game. And yeah, Seattle's defense is no joke. Nick Eamon-Worry, Tariq Woolen. I can't really name anyone else on the Seahawks defense, but they're a really good defense. They can stop the run. They can take away the passing game. Like, this is just what Seattle does. And it's just absolutely a great job by Mike Macdonald. Absolutely impressive for your first year as a head coach, especially going all the way out to the West Coast, or I'm sorry, the Pacific Northwest, to coach the Seattle Seahawks. Just an absolutely amazing job done by him. And how about Sam Darnold? He can officially say he is the first of his quarterback draft class in 2018 to reach the Super Bowl. Isn't that just crazy? Like, no Baker Mayfield, no Josh Allen, no Lamar Jackson. The last man standing of the 2018 NFL draft quarterback class is Sam Darnold. And I would have never thought that, especially after all the bullshit he had to put up with the Jets. Like, man, this guy was going through it. He was going through coaching changes. He was going through terrible roster moves. He was going through so much with the Jets. And even when he showed signs of greatness, it still wasn't enough to fix the Jets. Like, the Jets should change their name to the Grounds. Because the Jets never took flight with Sam Darnold. And it's not his fault, honestly. It's the coaching staff. It's the terrible decisions they made. They did it to themselves. And now it's no wonder why people are surprised that Sam Darnold leads the Seahawks to the Super Bowl. Like, he kind of bounced around for a little bit. After the Jets, he goes to the Panthers, plays a year there, has some good games, has some bad games, but it's kind of like, hey, he's kind of a project with how bad the Jets treated him. And then he goes to the Niners to back up I think it was Brock Purdy, I believe. Or it might have been Jimmy Garoppolo. I forget, because the Niners quarterback room, that thing is just a whole mess sometimes. But yeah, it's just kind of crazy. And then he goes to the Vikings. He leads the Vikings in his first year all the way to the playoffs. And now he's done it again. Except now he's led the Seahawks all the way to the Super Bowl. Just absolutely an unbelievable story. And I'm rooting for this guy to finally get his first ring. He absolutely deserves it. Sam Darnold, he has worked hard. He has taken so much in terms of when he was with the Jets, so I'm rooting for this guy. So yeah, that's how the Seahawks got here. Well, so now that we know how we got here, let's break down the matchup itself. The Seahawks and Patriots. I expect this game to be closer than everybody thinks, because everybody's saying Seattle is going to blow out this team. Now let's keep this in mind. This is the Patriots. There's a reason they've won 6 Super Bowls. And I get it, Belichick isn't there anymore, Brady is retired. But listen, it's because they make the right moves, from the front office to the coaching hires. There's a reason they brought Mike Vrabel in to coach this team. It's because of the stuff he did with the Titans. And it's kind of no surprise considering, let's remember, Mike Vrabel took the Tennessee Titans to the AFC Championship, and he was the last guy to beat Tom Brady while he was wearing a Patriots jersey, when he brought the Titans to Foxborough to play the Patriots in the wildcard round. And the Titans got it done and won the game. Isn't that just crazy? That now Mike Vrabel is back on the same sideline where he was a teammate with Tom Brady and where he was an absolute game wrecker for the Patriots on defense. It's just kind of crazy to really think about that. And with the Patriots, they've got a good team overall. They've got a really good defense that can shut down the run. Their secondary is kind of a little suspect at times. But Marcus Jones, he's a great player for them. He had a great game against the Texans in the divisional round. That's definitely a guy that if I'm Seattle, I am keeping a very close eye on, because he can be a threat to my passing game. And the Patriots, they can bring pressure. It's been on full display during the playoffs. Yes, the Chargers had basically an offensive line that's held together with tape and paper clips, but the Patriots did a great job of getting a rush on Justin Herbert. They did a great job of getting a rush on C.J. Stroud, and they did a great job of making Jarrett Stidham uncomfortable in an already pretty high-pressure situation. So this is a really good defense, and that's something I keep an eye on in this game. And Drake May, if he can put the nerves aside of playing in his first career Super Bowl, already in his second year in the league, it's kind of a really dangerous offense. You've got Stephon Diggs out there, and we know who he is with the insane catches he's made in his career. And I don't even think it's that it didn't pan out for him with the Texans. It's just they didn't want to pay him, probably. And I could honestly see that being an issue there. But yeah, and the Patriots, they've got a great run game with Ramondre Stevenson and Trevion Henderson. These two are workhorses, and these two are speedsters at times. So that's going to be a challenge for Seattle's defense too. And Will Campbell, man, this guy, I remember when he was at LSU, and he was just an absolute beast. He's been doing the same thing he's been doing all year for this team, which is helping protect Drake May and helping get the lanes open if he's got to take off and run. Because that's what Will Campbell does. And this Patriots offensive line is just amazing. So, keep an eye on that. And then getting to the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, if he can keep the nerves down too, playing in his first game, his first career Super Bowl, Seattle is going to be explosive like they always have. Because you got Cooper Kupp, you got JSN, you've got Kenneth Walker. I don't know who their tight ends are. I know their offensive line is really good. Like, this Seahawks offense, there's a reason why I'm saying I put them over the Rams for most explosive offense, is because they are just incredible to watch. You watch those two playoff games, and it's like, this is what won them the games, as well as their defense, because their defense is really good too. Like, they can stop the run, and they can also get pressure on quarterbacks. This is what you got to watch if you're the Patriots. How is your offensive line going to stack up against this pass rush? Are they, because they are ferocious, and they are going to get after Drake May. They're going to force him to make decisions he doesn't want to make. And that is a major key for the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl, is can they get pressure on Drake May? And can they try to limit him in terms of him getting out of the pocket and taking off and running? Because that's the problem that the Texans had too, was trying to keep him in the pocket. Because that's the best thing you can do, is keep Drake May in the pocket. His mobility is dangerous. This guy is absolutely a dual threat. Because not only can he sling it, he can also take off and run. And that's kind of how the Patriots closed out the Broncos in the AFC Championship, is they leaned on Drake May's legs. And that was a good strategy for them. And yeah, there's just a lot of matchups you're going to watch in this game and go, well, how is this going to impact this? How is this going to change the game here? And that's really what I look forward to watching, is just how does the Patriots offensive line stack up against the Seattle pass rush? And vice versa. Can JSN and Cooper Kupp do what they do best and run their routes and get loose and get to the end zone? And can Sam Darnold do what he's done all postseason, which is just bury teams in terms of going deep, in terms of hitting the routes that are open, his guys just doing what they do best? And can Drake May, like I said, calm the nerves early? Like, the best strategy for the Patriots, get him settled into the game. I get it, it's the Super Bowl, but you're gonna have to get him settled into the game. Because if you try something deep early, it's probably not going to work out the best for you, because you've got to calm his nerves right away. You've got to give him stuff that he can work with early and maybe establish your run game early, so that way you can get your passing game going. That's what you're going to need to do if you're the Patriots. And another thing you need to look out for if you're the Patriots, Rasheen Shaheed. Ever since Seattle picked him up from the Saints, he is an absolute game wrecker. Like, this guy, he, all postseason, has just found a way to bust games open, especially against the 49ers when he took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. And then they use him in the passing game. You saw that a lot against the Rams. I think right from the get-go, Sam Darnold threw a pass to him, and he just got loose and got deep into Rams territory. Like, that's definitely a key guy I'm watching in this game, is how is he going to impact this game? And I know the Patriots, they have a very good special teams unit. Nick Spooler, or whatever his name is. He's a great special teams gunner. He is going to have to be on his A game with this Rasheen Shaheed guy, because he is dangerous. He kind of reminds me a lot of Devin Hester, because, he's got the speed and he's also got the moves, like the agility. This guy is a game breaker. You've got to keep a very close eye on him. You do not want to kick the ball to him. You do not want to let him get open in the passing game. If they run reverses with this guy, you better be ready to see him come shooting out of the hole or out of the gap, and be ready to take this guy down as soon as you see him, because that is going to be crucial But all in all, I think this is going to be a great game. Seattle, they have had an amazing season. The Patriots have had an amazing season. And I think who really wins this? The fans. Because this is going to be an amazing game. I have a feeling it's going to be closer than people think. I don't think Seattle is going to go in there and just blow them out. I think this is going to be a lot closer. And honestly, in terms of points, I think this goes 50 plus points total. Like, no, both teams are not going to score 50 points. No, that's not going to happen. That would just be total insanity. And Mike Vrabel would be screaming through the headset as defensive coordinator the whole game. Mike McDonald would be doing the same thing. Because it's like, how can you stop those guys, And that's why I don't think this is going to be one of those shootouts in terms of each team scoring 50 points. No, that's not going to happen. But I could see at least a point total of 50 or more points in this game. Because these offenses are explosive. And these defenses, they're going to have their way at some points in this game. So that's why I think this is going to be a really great game. And this is just going to be a fun one to watch. I cannot wait for this game. Well, I think that's about the time and all the tea we have here on What's the Tea. I've been your host always at OwenTheMan316. You guys have been my amazing audience. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you're staying warm in this cold weather. Hopefully you're being smart on the roads because the last thing we need is for there to be people driving like idiots, especially in this bad weather. So please proceed with caution when you are driving. That's just the smart thing to do. Hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl. It's going to be a great matchup. And oh yeah, the Olympics just started. I cannot wait to watch some Olympic hockey because I love hockey. Hockey is just such a fun sport to watch. And hopefully it's just like what we got at the Four Nations face-off last year, because those were games that were just absolute cinema. And the Tkachuk brothers doing their thing. Love those guys. Those guys are awesome. Anyways, hope you guys have a great one. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Who do you got winning this one? The Seahawks or the Patriots? It's going to be a great game. But for now, hope you guys have a great one. Not sure what the next episode's going to be. It may be my Royal Rumble brew and review, which I think that's going to be a lot of fun to do. And yeah, like I said in the last video, I get it. People are on the fence about the Royal Rumble being in Saudi Arabia. I get it completely. Because, yeah, it's maybe not the best place to have it, especially with the women's Royal Rumble, everybody having to cover up and everything. But yeah, I digress on that. Anyways, hope you guys have a great one. I'll see you down the road next one. And always remember, no matter how bad things may be going in life, or no matter how bad things may seem right now, always take the time each day to take a sip of positivity. Have a great one. I'm out. Peace, and I will see you in the next one.